presentation. Yeah, good morning to one and all, and welcome to Supply Chain Management online classes. This is Dr. Mahesh Monjari, Assistant Professor from Department of Management Studies, SDM College of Engineering and Technology, Dharwad. Okay, so dear students, in this class, we are going to make a beginning to unit number 5. There are 2 chapters in unit number 5, a smaller one, but we are going to learn how demand forecasting plays a crucial role in supply chain management. So if I could say that supply chain is the backbone of any company, so then again it can be said that sales forecasting is the backbone of any supply chain. So without sales forecasting, nothing moves in supply chain. So we are going to learn in chapter number 7 first about demand forecasting, how it is done, and its a role in supply chain. And the next chapter in unit 5 deals with how supply and demand is managed in supply chain. Okay, so let's make a beginning with chapter number 7, demand forecasting, from unit number 5. Excuse me. Okay, so students, can you see these PowerPoint slides?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So before I go ahead with the syllabus, let us read out a small news. Though this news is of last year, same way during COVID. Okay, lockdown, work from home class. Okay, but yes, it has not yet lost its relevance. It is just to make you understand that forecasting is a routine, a regular activity in any organization. And without sales forecasting, nothing moves in supply chain. So here this news from the Times of India last year talks about Intel pulls forecast on uncertainty. Pulls means takes back. Excuse me. Intel withdrew its full year sales forecast, citing significant economic uncertainty caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. The company's shares fell more than 5% in later trading. The world's largest semiconductor maker reported a 23% jump in first quarter revenue and better than projected profit, bolstered by the demand for chips that run the laptops and server machines. Companies need to keep people working from home. Though it gave an optimistic second quarter sales target, Intel's profit outlook fell short of estimates, sparking concerns that spending slowdown will drag on business for the rest of 2020. That is the reason why its shares fell down. Sales in the current period will be about $18.5 billion. The Santa Clara, California-based company said in a statement Thursday. Analysts estimated $18.08 billion on an average, according to data compiled by Bloomberg. Net income will be about $1.04 dollar a share, compared with the Wall Street expectations of $1.11. Investors were caught off guard by the profit forecast. See, as per the earlier forecast, the earning per share, or net income for shareholders was supposed to be $1.11 per share. Okay, but as per the new forecast, so it would be $1.04. Okay, so this is because the whatever sales forecasting figures for sales and the profit was announced by Intel, it withdrew it and initially released new forecasted figures which were lower compared to the earlier sales forecasting figures. Why it was lower? They expected that the sales will be low in the remaining quarters of 2020 due to COVID pandemic. So now the point to be considered is, let us say if Intel has predicted higher sales, and then how it affects supply chain. So accordingly, so it would have to maintain the inventory of different components in proportion with the sales expected, because production will be made as per the sales forecasted figures. Now if they've estimated that the sales is going to be lower, then accordingly they need to maintain lower level of inventory as per the new forecasted figures. So accordingly everything will be affected in the supply chain. So inventory level, then quantity of transportation, warehousing, then transportation, everything will be affected across the supply chain. So this was just a small news to make you understand how sales forecasting, okay, is prepared in companies and how it affects supply chain. So what are we going to learn in this chapter is the role of forecasting in a supply chain, as I mentioned, then characteristics of forecasts and components of forecasts and forecasting methods. So let's begin with, okay, sales forecasting, role of sales forecasting in supply chain. So students, I hope you are in semester 4 and I hope you do understand the meaning of sales forecasting. Okay, so it's the predicted sales figure for the next 1 year. The predicted sales figure for the next 1 year, which we call it as sales forecasting. Okay, it is the basis, okay, for many things, like even to prepare a budget, okay, for the next financial year, sales forecasting figures are required. For example, how many units of goods we are going to sell in next one financial year, or maybe it is a estimated figure, it is not accurate always, but based on that, the procurement of raw material, okay, and the working capital required and arrangement for the working capital, okay, so this way scheduling the production, maintaining the inventory, okay, so everything depends on the sales forecasted figures. So I hope in the first instance you understood what is the meaning of sales forecasting. Okay, sales forecasting, yeah, sales forecasting is the basis for all strategic and planning decisions in a supply chain. So you can recall what I said before I started the chapter. If we call supply chain as the backbone of any company, so then definitely I can also say that sales forecasting is the backbone of any supply chain. Okay, that is the crucial role or important role what is played by forecasting in a supply chain. So sales forecasting is the basis for all strategic and planning decisions in a supply chain. Strategic means long term, planning means for 1 year period. Used for both push and pull processes. Though a company may be into pull strategy like Dell, as I mentioned, they used to wait for the customer order, only then they could assemble the personal computers. Or companies like Boeing and Airbus that manufacture aircrafts. Okay, so they always use a pull strategy. Only on receipt of order, they start manufacturing. But that does not mean that they don't do forecasting. Okay, they also do forecasting from a year to a long term as well. Excuse me. Okay, so examples where sales forecasting information is used or sales forecasting figures are used. Okay, say for, I will not explain all, but I'll explain the first part. Say for example, in production. Okay, see if the production manager asks, okay, how many units I have to manufacture? Definitely, okay, that is the big question what the manager has to ask. Who will answer? It is the sales forecasting figures. So he has to manufacture the number of units as per the sales forecasting figures, because that is the estimated number of units the company is expecting to sell in next 1 year. Okay, then that's information of sales forecasting, okay, is also used for scheduling, because all the units the company is going to sell in next 1 year will not be sold in the same quarter or same month. So it will be sold throughout the 12 months. So accordingly, the sales forecasting can be broken down into the expected sales for each month. Okay, so then accordingly the production has to be scheduled for each month. So, okay, so how many units the production manager is going to manufacture in a month, accordingly he has to maintain the level of inventory and do the aggregate planning, okay, for production. So now think about, okay, if there is no information on how many units the company is expecting to sell in next 1 year, so there is no sales forecasting figures, then how many units the manager would manufacture? How will he schedule the production for every month, for example, or what level of inventory the production manager will maintain? See, simply it will be very difficult. He will be totally blind or blank. So students, are you able to understand the importance of sales forecasting information?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yes, so definitely then marketing, sales force allocation. Okay, so how many units the company is going to sell? Okay, so that can be again allocated to each territory. So you can find out whether sufficient sales representatives are there to represent each territory or not. Okay, so based on the sales figures. each territory is going to generate. Okay, the number of sales representatives are allocated to each territory. But if you don't know again the how many units you are going to or you are expected to sell in each territory, you may not know how many sales reps should be appointed in each territory. For example, Bengaluru as one territory I will consider, and Dharwad as another territory. So do you think the sales potential in Bengaluru and Dharwad is same for any product?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Bangalore huge, the potential is huge. Okay, where you can do a getaway with one sales rep in Dharwad, you may require 10 sales reps in Dharwad, Bengaluru, or more than 10 sales reps. Okay, but 10 is just I'm talking randomly, but how many number of sales reps you need in Bengaluru? That depends on what is the expected sales to be generated from Bengaluru territory. Who provides that information? Sales forecasting. Okay, then similarly promotions. Promotion means a sales promotion, timing of sales promotions. Okay, so the sales forecasting figures will be broken down into for a period of 12 months. So during those months where the sales is going to be very low or lowest, okay, the managers usually think of coming out with sales promotion offers to increase demand during the low months. Okay, so same way, new production introduction, finance, for example, plant and equipment, investment. Okay, so if the increase in sales is going to be permanent one, then the company has to procure for plant and equipment. They had to arrange for the finance. Okay, so again, that increase in sales is also provide information is provided by sales forecasting and budgetary planning. Okay, you cannot do budgetary planning without sales forecasting figures. Okay, because the sales forecasting gives you the information on the number of units the company is expecting to sell in next 1 year. Let's say, for example, a car maker, passenger car maker, okay, will sell about 50,000 cars in next 1 year. To manufacture 50,000 cars, how much of working capital is required? Okay, so if you don't know, you won't be able to arrange for the working capital. Okay, so everything depends upon the sales forecasted figures. Okay, then when the sales forecasting goes wrong, okay, there will be company will be in big trouble. So this we'll learn in last unit number 6. Okay, but anyway, for the time being, accordingly, personnel workforce required to manufacture the number of units estimated. Okay, when the company should go on hiring, when the company should go on layoffs. Okay, so everything depends on sales forecasting. See, it cuts across production and operations, marketing, finance, and HR. Okay, that is the importance of sales forecasting. So that's why I said sales forecasting is the backbone of supply chain. Okay, and all of these decisions are interrelated, and all these decisions are made only on the basis of sales forecasting figure. Okay, any doubts? Anybody who is not able to understand what is sales forecasting and what is the role of forecasting in a supply chain? I'll give you a minute.
No, sir. No doubt.
Okay,
No, sir.
I hope you are clear with that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. So next, let's go ahead with the characteristics of forecasts. Forecasts are always wrong. Okay, because these are estimated figures. Okay, and things does not happen as per the estimations. Okay, but it gives a fair idea about how many units the company can sell or may sell. Remember this. So there is always a deviation of plus or minus 5%, plus or minus 10% from the estimated figures. So forecasts are always wrong. Should include expected value and a measure of error. As I said, plus or minus 5%, plus or minus 10%, okay, are the measure of error should be included in the forecasting figures. Then long-term forecasts are less accurate than short-term forecasts, because over a period of time, in the long run, uncertainty increases, and as uncertainty increases, the forecasting becomes less accurate. But in the short term means 1 year period or even lesser than that, 6 months, 3 months period, as the duration is shorter, the uncertainty goes on decreasing, hence the accuracy goes on increasing. Okay, due to the external environmental forces. Then aggregate forecasts are more accurate than disaggregate forecasts. Okay, say for example, a retailing firm, for example. So if the sales forecasting is done only at the headquarter level, okay, discarding the sales made by each retail store in the market or country. Okay, let us say there are Reliance more supermarkets. Okay, I don't know how many stores are there, maybe 800 or 1000 stores in India. So whatever sales they have made in the past 1 year, leaving that, if the head office of Aditya Birla Retail goes ahead and does its own forecast, that is called an aggregate forecast, without considering the sales of the more supermarket stores in the country. Okay, that aggregate forecast will be more accurate than disaggregate. I'm sorry. Aggregate forecast is where sales of the all supermarkets in the country are considered. Say Aditya Birla Retail is doing a sales forecasting for next financial year, and what it will do is it will consider the sales done by all its supermarkets, all more supermarkets in the country, some 800 or 1000 stores. Okay, and based on that information, they do a forecasting. Okay, that is called an aggregate forecasting. They are more accurate because they take into account the sales, okay, done in the past by all the stores, as well as each store manager can also give an sales estimation for next 1 year. So that information is more accurate as it is directly taken from, okay, the field. And disaggregate forecast is one where the head office does the forecasting alone in an isolated way on its own, without considering the sales done by the all stores in the country in the past, as well as not considering the estimated sales done by the store managers across the country. Okay, that is quite obvious. Okay, then also there is something called as the bullwhip effect. Okay, so bullwhip effect, okay, is where a small change in the demand at the retail level, a small change in the demand at the retail level, as it go about, as this information is passed on from retailer to wholesaler, wholesaler to manufacturer, manufacturer to supplier of raw materials, that increase in demand or decrease in demand, we call it change. That change in demand goes on magnifying. Say for example, at the retail end, okay, there is only 10% increase or decrease in the demand. Okay, so as this information reaches, okay, from retailer to wholesaler, wholesaler to manufacturer, it goes on widening. Okay, like from 10 to 15%, 15 to 20%. Okay, maybe by the time it reaches supplier of raw materials, they will feel that, okay, the change in demand is up to 25 or 30%. Why it happens, that we are going to learn in unit number 6. Okay, but for the time being, we need to understand that bullwhip effect affects the sales forecasting. Okay, so after that, we are going to learn the components or factors related to demand. Okay, so most of the cases, yes, okay, for an existing company which has a historical data or data on past sales, okay, they use past demand, okay, to estimate the future demand. So one of the major components or factors related to demand are past demand. Second is the lead time of the product. So how much time, okay, it takes for a product from the receipt of raw materials to come out as a finished product. Okay, so that also affects the sales forecasting figures, because if the number of units cannot be manufactured, okay, within a given period of time, because time is limited, 365 days. Okay, and may the company works in 3 shifts, for example. The time is limited, it is fixed. So whether the company will be able to manufacture the expected number of units within a given period of time or not. Okay, so that is another important component or factor related to demand. So if it cannot, then the company may go for investing in additional plant capacity building, or it may even consider starting a new plant. Okay, if we have read the news, okay, a couple of companies are planning to start a new plant for oxygen, but that will be functional only by 2023. Okay, looking at the present demand, which they are not able to meet. Then planned price discounts. As I mentioned, once the sales forecasting is done for the next 1 year, it is usually broken down into each quarter or each month, how much they are expected to sell in each month. So accordingly, during the months of lowest sales, the company may consider to go for a planned price discount. So during that month, the number of units, okay, manufactured will be more than the actual estimated, because when the price discounts are given, that it increases demand. Lower the price, higher the demand. Then state of the economy is also taken into consideration while estimating demand, because if the though the company might have done very good sales in the previous year, okay, but if the country economy enters into recession, for example, okay, so there won't be enough demand. Though the company might have sold enough number of units in the previous year, but at the present year, coming year, the company will not be able to sell enough, okay, number of units, because the economy has entered into recession. Recession means where the demand will be very low. So if we can recall the Intel news which I read out. So every news I told you, okay, is related to some subject. You just need to connect the dots. For that, you need to read a lot. Okay. So if I talk about the Intel news which I spoke about, see what Intel did, okay, at the beginning of 2020 financial year. Initially, they launched or published a regular sales forecasted figures. Then after a couple of months, they withdrew their original sales forecasting, okay, stating that the economy will enter into recession and their demand for their products will decrease. They will not be able to sell as per their expectations. So I hope we can understand how the state of the economy can affect the sales forecasting. Okay, so these factors have to be taken into account while okay, making a sales forecasting for any company or for product. Okay, so any questions here so far? Any questions? So we learned what is the role of sales forecasting in a supply chain. Then characteristics of forecasts, and then components or factors related to demand. Okay, because
No, sir.
demand is actually what is measured by sales forecasting. What is sales forecasting? The expected demand for their products in next 1 year. Okay, so give me a minute. I'll take attendance. I'll just get the attendance register. Okay, so your attendance. Nishad.
Yes, sir.
Aditya.
Sir.
Yeah, Aishwarya.
Present, sir.
Akshata.
Absent, sir.
Okay. Akshay Pujari.
Absent, sir.
Akshay Kulkarni.
Present, sir.
Akshay Koradkeri is also present. Ankita.
Present, sir.
Anusha.
Present, sir.
Apeksha.
Yes, sir.
Arpita.
Present, sir.
Ashutosh.
Present, sir.
Ashwini.
Yes, sir.
Prasad.
Yes, sir.
Supriya.
Present, sir.
Divya. Then Gautam. Geeta.
Present, sir.
Geetanjali. Yeah.
She's present, sir.
Yeah, present. See, don't give your attendance in advance. 1 minute. Akshay, Geetanjali. Oh, yes. Okay. Okay, Guru Raj.
Present.
Hanmant Rai. Bhimaya.
Present, sir.
Kalaya.
Present, sir.
Karthik. Karthik is absent. मंजूर मनोज
Yes, sir.
मेघना कलबुर्गी
Present, sir.
Okay, next मेघना लोखंडे
Present, sir.
नागरत्न
Present, sir.
Nandan present, sir.
yeah Nandan present Navya
Present, sir.
Nidhi excuse me
Yes, sir.
Nikita
Present, sir.
Pooja absent Pradeep
Yes, sir.
Pramod
Yes, sir.
Pranjali
Yes, sir.
yeah Pranjali absent Prashant Prema
Present, sir.
Priya
Present, sir.
Present,
Rahul
sir.
who present
Present, sir.
Karthik
He's
is
there, sir.
present
Pranjali, sir.
Pranjali sorry Pranjali okay then 41 Rahul
Sir, Ram, sir.
1 minute Rahul
Present, sir.
present Ram present
Yes, sir.
Rohit
Yes, sir.
Varsha
Present, sir.
Samuel okay Samuel is not there then Sharan
Present, sir.
Sharayu absent Shilpa okay Shreya
Present, sir.
Srinidhi
Present, sir.
Shruti
Present, sir.
Shweta Kokne
Sir, she's present, sir.
okay Shweta Kalkeri
Present, sir.
Shweta sorry Snehal
Present, sir.
Suchitra
Present, sir.
Sudarshan absent Sudha
Present, sir.
Suman
Yes, sir.
Maruf Vaishnavi
Present, sir.
Vishal
Present, sir.
Sharadhi absent okay anybody who skipped their attendance
So Karthik sent message.
I will check this Karthik okay other than Karthik
Sir, Sharan.
hmm?
Sharan, sir.
Sharan okay
Thank you, sir.
level okay now okay so though still a lot of time is there till your last working day that is 26 June but your I3 begins from 23 June okay and 2 classes per week tomorrow is a government holiday so leaving that Okay, I would get a maximum of 10 classes. That's it. Okay, in supply chain management, but that is fair enough to cover the remaining syllabus. Okay, so with that, then let me continue. Okay, so these were the components or factors related to demand. Okay, demand is okay, what is estimated in sales forecasting. Okay, so when we say sales forecasting, it means the company is estimating the demand for its products in next 1 year. Okay, so what are the factors that are related to demand have to be considered while preparing a sales forecasting. Yeah. Then the next part deals with forecasting methods. Okay, there are no numerical problems in the syllabus. Okay, so only we're going to glance through the forecasting methods, not even in detail. Okay, but definitely yes, you will be able to understand what are they. Have you learned them in any subject like quantitative business analytics or marketing research, business research methods? Anywhere have you learned?
Last sem, sir.
Qualitative.
Third sem.
Sorry, third sem, which subject? Qualitative methods of sales forecasting, time series, causal, simulation. Simulation will not be there anyway. Okay, whatever. So somebody says third semester, but subject not clear. But anyway, it doesn't make any difference. So we are going to just briefly glance at the forecasting methods. Just learn them in brief. Qualitative methods of forecasting. Qualitative methods of forecasting are primarily subjective. They rely on judgment and opinion. I hope you understand. See, generally, such a method is adopted for new to the world product. New to the world product. Say, for example, a product is invented, mobile phone for the first time, let us say. Mobile phone for the first time when it was commercially launched into the market. So there was no historical data or past data. Hello, can you hear me? Hello.